Good morning, and my name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it is Monday morning, so therefore it is time to come on and say hello and do a bit of crafting with you, and that's our usual routine, to come on a Monday morning and a Friday morning about this time. Morning, Lisa. Do pop on and say hello. Do tell us where you're joining us from, what you're up to. Hi Angie, it's lovely to see, to get to chat with you all and to touch base with you all and to do a bit of crafting with you all. So that is the plan this morning. So wherever you're joining me from, whether it's my Facebook page, whether it's the my VIP group, or whether it is indeed on YouTube, it is lovely to have you here, and thank you for sharing. Angie, do invite your friends to come and join us. We're not a closed group, we're welcome. Everybody is welcome to come and craft along with us. Just a quick couple of bits of the highlights of the news before we move on. We are now well into October. I did do a live on Saturday, which was World Card Making Day. So that was using kits. So if you're interested in that, do go back and find it. Morning, Jane. You'll find it on my YouTube channel, and it is also on my Facebook page, I do believe. So you can go back and look at that if you missed that. Looking at some kits, which are just fabulous ways of starting crafting, or just crafting anyway. Even if you're a seasoned crafter, they're good fun. So we did that. So I have done one live during October, but not one of our standard Monday or Friday morning lives. So good, happy new month. And for any of you that are Stampin' Up demonstrators, happy new Stampin' Up year, because our Stampin' Up year starts on the 1st of October. So as with any new year, always exciting time, always time to be making new plans, resolutions, what you're going to do. And I'm always interested to hear in what you would like to see. I can make no promises and no guarantees, but it's always interesting to see what you would like to see more of, what you would like to do. And in the coming month, we have got a couple of months ahead. We have got some nice classes coming up. A lot of them are Christmas based, funny enough. So we have a class tomorrow using the Delivering Cheer stamp set, which is just a fabulous stamp set. I've got another one coming up using the Festive Fun DSP, and we're actually going to be using the Festive Fun DSP today. So that will be good to have a bit of a play with that today, and yeah, to whet your appetite for that class that's coming up, the How to Have Festive Fun with DSP, using not the Festive Fun DSP, the Tidings of Christmas DSP. It's how to have festive fun with DSP, and the DSP that we are using is the Tidings of Christmas, and we are going to have a play with that today. And the other class we've got this month is actually not Christmas, it's the Harvest Meadow bundle that we're going to be playing with at the end of October. But there's also classes out there for November as well, so do check those out on my website, and I will show you that in just a minute. It would be lovely to have any of you that are here in the UK either joining me in person. I have some limited spaces in person if you are living locally, or you can have the kit, and you know, that doesn't matter where you are in the UK, I can send that kit out to you. So full instructions, all your bits that you need, all your cardstock and embellishments and paper and things that you need. You will need the stamp set tied with the class, but you do have the options to have stamp sets and bundles as part of your class fee as well. So do check all those out. You get full colour instructions, and if you're having it in kit form, I will do you a little introductory video that tells you any tips, tricks, things that I think you need to know out of the ordinary. So that's classes. Let's go on for today. So let's bring in my downward facing camera. And let's take my face out. Thank goodness for that, you say. Oh no, let's try that again, shall we? Took the wrong camera out. It's Monday morning. Let's click on the right button this time and take my face out and bring the downward facing camera in. There we go. So this is me. So Love-a-Duckie, you'll find me under Love-a-Duckie on all of the social media places, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. I'm there under all of those on Love-a-Duckie, and this is my website. So if you want to go and check out those classes, go and have a look at www.loveaduckie.co.uk and click under the tab that says classes and events, and you'll find details of those, and it would be lovely to have you join us. Right, Tidings of Christmas comes with some friends, so let's bring those in. And let's bring in the catalogue. Now this Christmas set is actually in the annual catalogue. It's not one that's in the mini. You'll actually find this one hiding out. Let me just move that out of the way. In the annual catalogue. So you've got the Tidings of Christmas suite. Now it's just quite a dinky little suite. It's not a huge big suite. You've got your stamp set, you've got your dies, you've got your beautiful DSP, and you've got some ribbon that I have in a stack of ribbon just here. So let's have a look at all of those. And obviously, as always, you get some beautiful samples. Let me just show you those so you can see that you've got these lovely stockings in there. That's gone. Whoop, whoop, waiting for it to pick that picture up. You've got these lovely stars, this foliage, great DSP, stamps, a lovely little collection for your Christmas crafting. Look at those stockings, aren't they lovely? So if you have sort of skipped that by and missed it in the annual catalogue, do go back and have a look. Don't forget your annual catalogue. We get so excited about the minis with all the beautiful things that are in them that sometimes we can forget the things that are the whole host of wonders that are in that annual catalogue. Morning Lee, morning Neat. Live on YouTube, excellent. I'm glad you found me. I know you have trouble finding me live on YouTube sometimes, so I'm glad I've popped up for you today. So Tidings and Trimmings stamp set. You've got these lovely stockings, and this one, as you can see, if you've got a white piece of card, if we were starting with a basic white piece of card, this one would stamp the pattern onto the white card, whereas this one would stamp the whole of the background onto the white card, and you'd be left with the white negative. So that one, sort of all the black area is stamped. That's what you get with Hi Peggy from the USA. The black pieces are the bits that will stamp onto your card when you ink it up. So with this one, you'd have a mainly white background with this coloured detail, and this one you would have a coloured detail leaving the white background, and the star obviously is like this one. You get that coloured detail. So you've got these really lovely detailed stockings and star. You've got these bits of foliage that are some two-step stamping. So there's your outlines. Here's your infill colour. You've got a little star down here that will do the same. There's your outline. There's your infill colour, or you can just use that, as a little star on its own right. You've got a lovely little bow up here, and you'll be pleased to know there is a die that cuts that out. And then you've got these lovely greetings in this fabulous font. So Noel, cheers from our home to yours. It's the most wonderful time of the year. May your days be merry and bright. Wishing you a joyful Christmas and happy New Year. And you've got a little to and from. To and froms are so useful. So you can be using this to create lots of little tags, and it's a really useful sort of stamp set to be doing those sorts of things with, because the images aren't too big. So alongside that, we obviously have some dies. We have our die that cuts our stocking and our bow and our foliage and a little berry piece just there. We've got a die for that. We've got a little row of dies there that will cut out some little berries. But you can see here you've got two sets of holly leaves, but they are one die joined that will cut you a pair of leaves that's got this embossed detail in. So you get 2 pairs of leaves, so that's really useful. So you've got your pairs of leaves, and then you've got your berries that you can put in with your holly, or perhaps you could cut these out and add them to that die. That would be quite good. You could die cut this in green and perhaps add some white berries, some mistletoe or something. And then you've got these 2 sets of stars. You've got the outer star that will die, this one will die cut your stamped image from your stamp set, and then you've got this detailed die, this detailed stamp there, star there, and then you've got a big stamp, big star, and a bigger detailed star that are really beautiful, and you've got your little star in them as well. So a lovely set of dies. I've got my magnetic sheet ready to add those to. As you can tell, we've not played with this stamp set yet. This is our first outing, as often is the case. And then these are the papers. So the colours palette. And I've just grabbed some cardstock, so I've got some on hand for when we start creating. The colour palette of these papers is Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Misty Moonlight, Cherry Cobbler, and Sahara Sand. So those are the 5 colours that it lists in your catalogue for in your papers. And here they are. So you can see you've got a really nice stripe on a couple of those. I love those stripes. Some sort of foliage leaves, Christmassy sort of leaves. That one's not so Christmassy. You could certainly use that one as a generic card. This Evening Evergreen here is very reminiscent of the ribbon that we'll look at in a minute. And then if we swap them over, you've got some Sahara Sand here with that imagery on the back. And some sort of pine boughs on that one. That's a nice Christmassy foliage one. Nice cherry cobbler one there. That's rather beautiful. Another little Sahara Sand with little sort of snowflakey stars going on. And then this is beautiful, this paper. So you've got your Misty Moonlight in there. You've got your cherry cobbler. You've got your soft succulent. You've got it all going on in there on an Evening Evergreen background. Sahara Sand in there. Really beautiful paper. So we've got some of the papers. And then we've got this ribbon, and we have used this a couple of times, or I have used this a couple of times on projects. It's an Evening Evergreen ribbon with this sort of chevron detail in it. So a really lovely little suite of products, as I say, and you'll find all of those in the annual catalogue. So what shall we do? What shall we play with? Cherry cobbler. Once I start playing with cherry cobbler, I really know that Christmas is on the way. Of all the reds, that's the one that sort of most shouts Christmas to me. I think because it has got that sort of extra depth of colour to it. So I think we'll start with some cherry cobbler somewhere along the line. And I might bring in one of the Sahara Sand papers. That's quite a nice neutral. I might actually go with a Sahara Sand card base. Hold with me one moment. Sahara Sand is a colour that I need to stock up on. It's funny because it's not a colour I use very often, but it is brilliant in these in this colour palette. It's lovely. We were using it the other day with the Deer Stampin' Punch. Let's score that. So we're making a standard card base, half a piece of card scored in half. So whatever your sizes are for that, wherever you are in the world. Metric, I suspect, for a lot of you, but Peggy definitely will be going for the imperial sizes with the letter size card. Right, so we're going to have that there. I'm going to cut a piece of cherry cobbler for the back. I'm going down my one mat size that you would usually go down. I am going to cut this edge of this with a bit of a border die though, I think. And then we'll take our paper and we'll bring that down to 9.5. Need to watch the sort of direction of the print, see if that has a particular direction, and this one does look better one way, although I think it wouldn't be the end of the world the other. There's a definite preference on that. I am going to cut a bit of scallops in the bottom just to make that a wee bit fancy, because we do like to be a wee bit fancy. I'm going to take the scallop that comes out of the scalloped contours. We've got a few different scalloped dies round and about that you can be using, but for this one we'll take these scallop contour die. So I'm just going to rest that on the bottom of that DSP. I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss here, so let's run that through. So pretty. Let's take our cherry cobbler card and do the same. I'm just sort of trying to line it up so the scallops coming off the either side are about equal. So hopefully then that will sit nicely under there. So we're just going to bring that like that. So we've got those two scalloped bottom edges just there. Put that to one side. I'm not going to stick it yet because I haven't quite decided. To cut a bit. I might want to add some ribbon or something to it in a bit, so I'm not going to cut it off just yet. I'm going to take a piece of Sahara Sand card, I think, and my cherry cobbler ink. And start out with the stamp that's going to give me the pattern in the card. It's going to stamp the pattern onto the card, I should say, rather than leaving the obviously inked up my cherry cobbler pad quite well. So it's going to stamp it onto the card rather than the negative which the other stamp gives us. So let's stamp a couple of those. Detailing that stamp, the patterns are just beautiful. Let's bring in my Stampin' Scrub. Add a bit of a spritz. This stamp is obviously now going to be pink. Hi Glenda. You're not able to stamp cherry cobbler ink without leaving a little bit of tinge of pink on your stamp, but that's okay. They're tools, not jewels, which will work perfectly fine. And now I'm going to take the other stamp. This is the one that is going to leave a negative. So let's ink that up. be a little bit too inky. I think I've got a very inky pad just there. Let's see if I take just the top off of it, whether that helps. Perfect. Okay, let's cut those out. Two. And 3. So there's our stockings. Just scrabbling around to find some evening evergreen scraps. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. My new Stamping Up year resolutions is to use up some more of my scrap bits because I seem to have a lot. I'm going to cut some of the holly leaves and berries. Let's take those 2 holly leaves. And let's take that little berries die. Let's die cut some of those. There's 1 pair. And 2 pairs. Oh dear, we've got cats fighting outside now. Now, muggies. No fighting. And let's run this through again. As I was getting ready this morning, I did think to myself, I really must give my plates a good wash. They're looking very gunky and they're getting a bit sticky. Right, I have a whole host of little berries here. Find my take a pick. Oh no, that's the wrong take a pick tool. I am very indulgent of myself. I have two, so that I've got them set up for different things. And there's a whole host of little berries. So let's just gather those into a pile, and we'll add those in a minute. Now we have you want to add a piece of ribbon in there. And I think the other thing I will do is I'm going to take some of these dies that die cut the greenery bits. I'm going to have some of those as well. I'm going to do this one in Evening Evergreen. And the other one I'll cut a couple in. Cut a couple of this one in Soft Succulent. There's that one. And that one. Let's do one more of the Soft Succulent. And perhaps have a little arrangement coming in there, something like that. We will need sentiment of some sort on there. I'm going to add these dies to my magnetic sheet for now. So let's find the stamp set, which is just here, and I might just go with that Noel. I think it will be perfect. Let's find this, a little bit left on here. See you soon, Jackie. I think Jackie's perhaps already gone. I was busy die cutting when she said goodbye. So let's come back in with our, no, actually let's come in with some Evening Evergreen. I used to be indecisive and now I'm not so sure. Let's some ink that up. Fab. just got my big pair of scissors out. You can obviously use trimmers, whatever works for you. Let's dig back into that rather big bag of cherry cobbler scraps. So many years of using cherry cobbler at Christmas means I've got quite a few cherry cobbler scraps. Just going to back that onto some cherry cobbler. Okay, let's start sticking this together. Where's your other holly leaf gone? Just there. And you're just there. And you're just there. So I think to start with, we'll stick this DSP layer to this cherry cobbler layer. Like that. And I think we'll take this ribbon and wrap that round. Linda's saying that her blocks need cleaning, so yeah, my mats need cleaning. I think yeah, you sort of, it's one of those things, isn't it? You think, oh, I really ought to do that. Put them away for another day, and then you get them out and think, oh, I really ought to do that. A bit like cleaning my oven. I don't know whether that's anybody else. I must clean my oven. It's a bit hot now. I'll do it when it cools down. And the next time you open the door, you think, oh, I really must clean this oven. And so it goes on. Let's find some dimensionals. I think we'll lift this up because this is quite a thick ribbon. I think if we try and stick it down flat, it will be a bit bulgy. So we'll not risk the bulge. We'll layer it up. That used to be for those of you here in the UK, I think it was Terry Wogan that used to do Beat the Bulge on the radio. But I don't think he was beating the bulge on his card making. I think that was more tummy bulges than card bulges. Right, I'm going to take this centre stocking. I couldn't think what it was called then. This a centre thingy. Because we want our foliage to come out the top. So we need it about so that the toe, that stocking is resting on the bottom of the ribbon. So I haven't put a dimensional on the bottom here. Put them further up. I'm not going to sit that bit down. I'll leave it up till we're ready. Till we've done our arrangement inside the stocking. So let's just add a bit of some blobs of Tombow. Of course, as I always forget, the easiest way to have done that would have been to have cut it with some self-adhesive sheets. I've even put myself some out here somewhere just to remind me to do that. Well, perhaps they've moved again. coming here. And coming out that way. Let's rest that down now. Let's bring in our holly leaves. One and two. And we need to put our little, oh, it's quite a big blob of glue, but hopefully that will all be covered up. Let's bring in our, take a pick tool with our sticky end. And let's add in those berries, and then I'll press them down in just a second. There we go. Get it over and use the embossing end. Just, oh, where have you gone? Just to make sure those are in place. So there's one little holly leaf, and then these other two will bring up on either side. One, and two. To bring the holly leaves down a little bit on this one, I think. Let's turn you around that way. And then let's put in our berries. One, two, three, and one. So you get 6 little berries out of each run through of your die. So I did 2, so I will have some left over. Of course, you don't have to give each holly leaf 3 berries. It just feels quite traditional, doesn't it, to give 3? I don't know, is that just me? So I've got 3 little berries left over. I don't think I'm going to be keeping those for another day. I think that would be too stressful. So I'll bring in a mini dimensional. I'll put a mini dimensional in those 2 opposite corners. So it just straddles that ribbon slightly. Do I want I don't know, Helen, do do I want to tie a little bit that side? Let's bring in my scissors. Just cut that off like that. That's rather pretty. Do we want anything else added into that? Wondering if these are the sequins for all occasions. Shall we add in a splattering of those? Got sticky fingers now. Do I prefer it without? Do you know, I think on this occasion I prefer without. What I could do is add a few in here. Stay. That might look rather fun. Let's add them in up here to our foliage. Let's just add the glue and then they will stick in place. I'm going to put one there and one there. It's a nice box of sequins to have because you have got a nice range of colours. You've got your silvers and your golds and your whites, and then you have got your greens and reds. So really useful. Obviously brilliant if you want to do things like shaker cards. You could have shaker stockings or shaker stars with this set. You could like out your little apertures and add some crash. Add some sequins in there. Stay. Especially those stars, because you could then die cut the fancy star out of foil or something to go over the top. Oh, the ideas are running now. Okay, let's put these sequins back in the little box and scoot those back away and put the lid back on, because we really don't want to be playing pick up all the sequins from the floor. And I'll just top that lid back on. You can of course decant these into little pots and things if that's easier. There we go. Let's grab a bit of basic white and make ourselves an insert. I'm just going to cut that at 13.9 by 9.5, so it's sort of second map size down. My insert. I'm going to go back to my stamp set. I'm going to add "Wishing you a joyful Christmas and a happy New Year" on my insert. Perhaps should have got a slightly bigger block, but we'll just go on a skew if. Let's add a stocking across the corner. Stick that inside. There we are. We have used our papers, so that ribbon, the die cuts, and that same colourway, that sort of cherry cobbler, Sahara sand, evening evergreen, soft succulent. We haven't got any misty moonlight in there, but we did use all the other colours. So there's one card to get us started. So I think we should go very different with our other one, because of course, just because the papers are that colourway doesn't mean that we have to use the blocks and stamps, the stamps and dies and things in those colours. So for my next card, I'm going to stick with Christmas, and I've dug out some gorgeous grape and lovely lipstick. So really quite different. And I've also got, these are some pieces of the silver foil pack that's in the mini catalogue. So you get these three, like a brushed silver, and then you get these slightly darker, almost purpley hues to them on these silvers. So they, yeah, really pretty. Thought they might work quite well. We'll bring in that little bit of basic white. And we have a 13.9 by 9.5 piece of basic white. I've got a gorgeous grape card base just here. I think we'll cut ourselves a lovely lipstick mat to go on it. So, gorgeous grape, lovely lipstick. Got a blending brush here. That lovely lipstick, it's polished pink. lovely lipstick. You know, that's long gone, isn't it? Polished pink and gorgeous grape. Got my Monday morning head on and a blending brush. So let me start off. I'm going to move my other card out of the way to give me a bit of room. With some polished pink. Now, do I want some gorgeous grape in there as well? Let's see. Oh, look, now I've got splobs on there. Inky fingers. Coming back over the top with polished pink. Like that little bit of purple in there. I'm ignoring that for now. We will create something to cover up our little purple blobs from Inky Fingers. If only I was a completely clean crafter, eh? Right, I think I might take this purpley coloured foil just here, which is a bit more of a flat matte foil, and then this one is brushed, and I'm going to find, she says, hopefully some dies. I think I'll have that one cut out of those. Let's run that through. So there's a solid background die, and here comes a little detail die for the front. And that was just one run through the machine. And no worries about that cutting out. Obviously, your machine might have different, you know, they sort of do loosen up over time, and they've all got a little bit of different tension on. But certainly on my machine, that was one run through. Really should have die cut that one with some sticky back, but we'll have that on there. Right, looking for my stamp set. Here it is. I'm going to come in with this fancy dark stamp just here. And I'm also going to take a little solid stamp. Pop that one on there. Let's pop that one on there before it gets lost on my desk. And then with some gorgeous grape. We'll have a couple of gorgeous grape fancy stars. And I'll bring in some polished pink. And let's have some polished pink stars round and about. Let's see if that's about right. Now back here I have got some of the metallic mesh ribbon. I might just have some of that coming from under there. I've also got this gorgeous grape ribbon. We'll have a bit of that going on as well, I think. And then we have cheers from our house to yours. I want to have that happening on something up there to hide the blob. Right, let's have a look. So yes, so this I should definitely have die cut onto some double-sided sheet, but I didn't, so I'm just going to put a bit of glue on there. Could have sponged it on. Let's just pick up that glue from there. My block definitely needs cleaning now as well. Glenda. Let's push that down, stick those together. Let me, ooh, where has my tape gone? Here it is. Let's put a couple of bits of tape across the back here. One, two, we'll swish that around. Stay. going to just pop a bit of tape down there to hold that down. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of here. Falling back on the floor. Just stick that. To my polished pink layer. And that. To my gorgeous grape layer. And then give that a bit of a dust. What did I do? There it is. Take the Cheers from Our House to Yours and some Versamark. And let's bring in some silver embossing powder. I would have grabbed that somewhere. And my heat gun has gone walkabout. Let me just go to my other one. I'll go and quickly blast that and I'll be back. Oh, here it is. I know I've got it ready to be plugged back in somewhere. Here we are. Let's give that a blast. And then I think we'll bring in a bit of gorgeous grape to tuck behind there. And stick that down flat, I think. And that's just about perfect to cover up the blobs in the background. And then got some of the silver and clear epoxy essentials here. Just going to add in, because they're sort of nice big bold embellishments. Let's add in some of those. Right, so very different colours. We started off being inspired by the colours in the paper and then went completely off-piste. So two very different looking cards using one suite of products. All I can see is stampedness on the back of there. So let's bring that in, because that will help bring those up a bit. So there we are. Two very different. We've got our stockings and we've got our stars, both of which you can find in that Tidings and Trimmings bundle of gorgeousness in the annual catalogue. So I hope you've enjoyed those, and that's sort of given you a bit of a tempt with those lovely products. If I can help you in any way, if you are looking to buy any of those and you're here in the UK and you need some help, I would be very pleased to help you. That is my job and my joy. So do get in touch, and do come back and see us again very soon. Let us come back up this way. Hello. So yeah, so lovely to have you join me again on this Monday morning. Do come back on Friday and see us again for some more crafting, and do get in touch if you have any questions or if I can help anyway in the meantime. Yeah, pink and purple's the way to go, Jane. Well, it's nice just for a change, isn't it? They look really lovely, especially with some flashes of silver. So yeah, have a lovely week, everybody. I hope the sun shines for you and you get to do everything that you're hoping to do, and I will be back with you on Friday. So until then, see you very